I'd fallen out of a job that was really high stress for me, and had a lot of emotional and personal connections into the job. And in doing that as a guy, I lost a lot of my identity and didn't really have much to carry me along through the day. And so day after day, I just sunk further and further into depression. And in that process, had really lost a sense of self-worth and identity, had approached actually suicide. I was in a place where I had shut off communication with a lot of my friends, community around me, my parents, even with my wife. And she didn't know how to help me. My friends weren't sure how to help me. I didn't really know how to help myself either.
So it's common for men to kind of mix their identity with their careers and wrap everything up into one, because it's an escape. It's an escape from what they're really going through on the outside and in their personal lives. I
was really handicapped in depression and isolation, and for my story specifically, addiction was a big part of this. I was really using a lot from the moment that I woke up until I was going to bed. I was in some sort of altered mind state, trying to escape from the weight of problems and the disappointment of the reality of the circumstances I had found myself in my middle life.
Noah ran into some addiction problems, and that's common for men as well, because then because they know they can't go and get help, or they feel as though they can't go and get help, they will self-medicate, and they're just trying to numb those feelings of anxiety and depression.
So I was looking for help. I needed help. I'd reached rock bottom, and Adelante is where I turned. I was referred into the behavioral health clinic after an intake survey for the medical component. One of the perks of being in the Adelante system is a congruency between the different providers that are all part of the Adelante family.
So there are a lot more women out there seeking help with their mental health than men, because men kind of feel closed off to it. They feel they've been told for so long, for their entire life, you know, be a man, be strong, don't show your weakness. And a lot of times the men will confuse their weakness with emotions, and the two are not synonymous. So I always tell my clients there's courage and vulnerability. And what that means is the brave man is the one that can say, I need help.
As I went through the process of this work and therapy, and then reaffirming and reinforcing it in my time and life outside of therapy, I was still really struggling with addiction. I brought that up with my therapist, and we acknowledged and agreed that we had both thought, you know, I'd come a long way and I had done a lot of work, and that this next chapter perhaps was really focusing on a rehabilitation program of some kind. And I'm really excited to sit here today and say that I celebrated 35 days of sobriety yesterday, which is the longest for me that I've been sober since I was 18 years old, and I'm 40. And the impacts of that have been amazing fruit already in just such a short amount of time. I've had a couple of conversations with my partner that have been so encouraging, where she has been really direct about my ability to be more present in conversations, to be participating in what's unfolding in our home, in our lives, and with our kids. I think that there's a scenario or a stigma with a lot of men in our culture today that keep us from reaching out for help. It's an ego, it's a pride, a mentality that we can do it ourselves, and the truth is that we can't. My advice to any of these guys is to get over yourself, get the help. So be brave, reach out, and if it starts with just reaching out to a friend and being honest, awesome, that's one step in the right direction.
So if you feel as though you've got anxiety, you feel as though you've got some depression, any type of sadness, anger, communication issues, come to Adelante. Come here, call us, ask for help, be vulnerable, show the courage you have in being vulnerable, and get that help that you need from a licensed provider.